What's up, YouTube? My name is Jason, and this is my take. And I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be doing a quick review of the new Blxst album, Before You Go. Blxst is a rapper and singer out of LA, and my intro to him was his 2020 album, and I think this is his debut, which is No Love Lost. And I thoroughly enjoyed this. I became a fan, and I've been listening to his music since. What I enjoy most is just that bouncy LA, like West Coast sound that Blxst has to his music. Like the drums hit every time. Like he has a sound. Like, you know, a Blxst beat when you hear it. But it didn't get old on that project. A lot of songs that weren't too varied, but it still was enough for me to keep listening. A lot of songs that I still go back to on that project. And he has an amazing voice as well, that can't be denied. So his voice along with that LA bounce, like it's a great combination. So going into this new project, that's what I was expecting. That's what I wanted. I was curious to see what variations and new type of production Blxst will be over. Cause like I said, like he has a type of beat. There's a Blxst type beat for sure. That specific drum pattern too. So I was just hoping for a little more variation, and I think that I did get that on this album. And I'll say overall, this was a solid collection of tracks. I'll probably go back to No Love Lost more than this one, but Blxst once again came through, and I really enjoyed this project. So let's jump into some highlights. Never Was Wrong gives us a bouncy kickoff to the project. I also very much love the saxophone that gets the whole thing started and is also sprinkled throughout the track as we go through. The melody on the song About You is still stuck in my head. This, along with like the very warped and reverb like background or like vocal chops that are on here that are just riding in the background, it gave the beat a lot of color, but it wasn't overpowering. With all of this, Blxst comes in, rides this beat perfectly, and does what needs to be done. I very much enjoyed the combo of Blxst and Arin on the song Fake Love in LA. And I enjoyed the switch up. This was a different sounding beat that I've heard Blxst over. Definitely had more of a lo-fi feel. The drums were a little softer, but these two together, they meshed very well. And I like Arin on the hook. And Blxst himself vocally, this was one of the more standout tracks in terms of his performance, because he has a usual flow and way of vocally delivering, but this one, it was a little different. Like I feel like he gave a little more, and I really enjoyed how he delivered on this one. My favorite track, a track that I love a bunch, is the song Pick Your Poison with Grandmaster Vic on it. This is another track that had a different sound to it, and the production really stuck out to me on here, especially how the kick on here like would come in when you think that a snare would be in there. I love when tracks do that. They put a kick in where a clap or a snare is supposed to be, and it just gives the track like a little extra punch. Like this track very much knocks, in my opinion. I also very much love the song Still On My Way. Easily one of my favorite tracks on the project, and I love the chord progression on this one. And man, what's so stuck in my head also is those like heavenly female vocals that are saying My Way right behind Blxst on the hook. Like that was perfect. Also wanted to briefly mention the song Talk to Me Nicely. I really just enjoyed the violin section that was on this track, as well as Blxst's vocal layering on the hook. Now let's get into a few tracks that just didn't really do it for me. And we'll start with the song Couldn't Wait For It that features Rick Ross. Yeah, this was one of the more boring tracks on the album, especially coming off of a great track in Pick Your Poison. And man, Rick Ross really had me scratching my head on here. He's I feel like been on a run the past few years in terms of features, but this was one of his more lackluster performances. He was off beat like a few times throughout the verse. Like it really felt lazy. It really felt like he didn't really give much to this, and that's disappointing, especially with a great artist like Blxst. I was actually excited to see what this would turn into when I saw the track list. So yeah, this one didn't do it for me, especially Rick Ross and his contributions. I felt like Keep Coming Back just didn't add to the track list. Like it just felt like it was here. It sounded like the typical, like, it sounded like a typical Blxst beat, but just like one that is underwhelming, isn't doing much. As well as the outro, Let It Be Known. And given it was an outro, it just didn't feel like a closer. Like this felt like this was a song that was like should have been like in the middle of the track list, you know what I mean? And you know, the production felt empty, and Blxst didn't do anything to help. Like I said, it was like Pusha T on Call My Bluff on my It's Almost Dry review. Like, it's like he went along with the beat. Like, he didn't add or like bring excitement to it. Like, the beat wasn't exciting. So it was just a mediocre performance in my opinion. And beyond that, man, Before You Go by Blxst is another solid collection of tracks. Blxst shows off his vocals once again over a smooth sounding production. A few tracks here and there that were underwhelming compared to some very dope tracks, some bangers on there as well. I pretty much know what I'm gonna get from Blxst, and I personally don't get tired of it. I think the grooves, the production, and just Blxst himself, I don't really get tired of him. So I'm always gonna be looking forward to what he's putting out. You guys should definitely check him out if you haven't heard of him. Great mixture of hip hop and R&B on here. And I'm gonna give this project a 6.5 out of 10. So what you guys think of this new Blxst album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What were your favorite tracks? Let's have a discussion down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another week of Jason's Take. Gonna get back to these videos, get consistent for you guys. Next week, gonna do an end of month for April, and probably Future's dropping tomorrow, so that's probably gonna happen. I hope that's a good one. So until then, please like and subscribe to the channel. See you guys next time. I'm Jason. This has been my take.